us about the Back to Work budget, please.
Well, the first thing to know about the Back to Work budget is that it's about putting Americans back to work. So from there, it's all elaboration. We put 7 million people back to work within a year, and within 3 years, we get to what economists call full employment. Many budgets will be judged in the next few weeks. We think the proper standard for judging any budget, our budget, Ryan's budget, anybody's budget, is does it put Americans back to work? The whole conversation has been about who can do austerity more or who can do it a little gentler. But at the end of the day, what American people need is to get a good job. And the closer we get to full employment, the more you will see wages rise, so we can counteract the 30-year downward spiral when it comes to Americans' wages. So we want to do this by investing in infrastructure, doing local government support to help teachers, cops, firefighters, other important public workers. And we also fund the Make Work Pay tax credit so that small business people, the largest driver of new employment, can get back in the game and get some folks on the payroll.
Congressman Ellison, would it be fair to say that a summary of what you're saying is that we don't have a deficit problem as much as we have a jobs problem, and that solving the jobs problem will help solve the deficit problem?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, in 10 years, our deficit, we reduced the deficit by $4.5 trillion, which obviously would happen if you have more people working, more people contributing tax money would lower the deficit, and our budget does that. But I want to be clear, Tom, we are not touting our budget because of debt and deficit. We're touting it because it does what the American people need, a good job that pays a fair wage. That's what it's really all about. And so at the end of the day, we have families, we have huge numbers of the poor, huge numbers of unemployed. We're happy because we're at 7.7% unemployment. But when the Humphrey Hawkins full employment bill was passed in '76, the unemployment rate was 3.6%, no, 6.3%, and we thought that was a national disgrace. And so now, we're happy to be at 7.7. No, the richest country in the history of the world can employ its people. Folks who want to work hard, full-time, ought to be able to take care of their family. Nobody shouldn't be without the chance to go to the doctor, and we all should have a retirement that we can look forward to and not dread. Now, if the point of making our economy work was putting people back to work, all those things would be true. Instead, we're in another place, but this trend that we've been on needs to be reversed. The Back to Work budget does that.
Specifically, how does it do it? How do you respond to conservatives who say, well, you're not giving tax cuts to job creators, so they won't, benevolently build a new factory, for example?
Well, the phrase, you're not giving tax cuts to job creators, is fraught with all kinds of problems, even though it only contains a few words.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, job creators are people who go into the store and buy stuff. That's why businesses hire people, because they got orders to fill. And let me tell you, I practiced law for 16 years. I had a small business, and the only time I hired people is when I needed to. I get a big case, I hire an investigator. I get a lot of paperwork, I got to get some more legal assistance. But I didn't hire people just because of a tax cut. That doesn't make any sense, and no rational business person hires people just because they get a tax cut. They hire them because they got more demand. So there's that. That's who the job creators are, not some rich guy who wants more money. And then the other thing is tax cuts, by the way, are one of the worst ways to actually stimulate the economy. In an economy like this, when people are trying to deleverage and get out of debt, they just take that money and use it to deleverage. They don't put it back into the economy because people are too nervous to do that. The best way to get people back to work is for the government to spend money, and we have historically low interest rates, so doing infrastructure building is something that, one, we need, two, it's inexpensive to do, particularly relative to history, and by the way, it improves public safety. In my own district of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the district surrounding it, we had I-35 fall into the Mississippi River, an important piece of infrastructure So it's not just jobs and productivity, it's also public safety. You know, we're putting the infrastructure portion of our bill in there because the civil engineers say that's what we should be doing for a whole number of reasons. And so, you know, this is what our budget is driven by facts. Now you look at our budget compared to, say, Paul Ryan's budget. Our budget, we show exactly how we get to the 7 million jobs in the first year. We show what taxes we're going to raise. We show what loopholes we're going to close. His budget is full of asterisks and all kinds of blanks. So we really don't know all of the aspects of that budget. It's full of holes, and I think that it's deliberately vague because he really doesn't want to tell people what he's going to do to them. But I tell you this, our budget, we will defend it anywhere, and we're very proud of it. We want to thank people from like the Economic Policy Institute and other economists that used well-used economic modeling to come up with the budget that we came up with. It's a sound budget.
Congressman Ellison, the Progressive Caucus, Congressional Progressive Caucus, has offered balanced budgets, good budgets, progressive budgets every year for years that I've been doing this show and my radio show, and yet they have not, and they all make sense to me. What I don't get is why they haven't gone more viral or more national with the big D Democratic Party. The rest, your colleagues. Any thoughts on that?
Well, you know, we take responsibility for that. We feel it's our job to get the word out. I want to thank you for having me on, but we're going to have members of the Progressive Caucus, talking to the American people through the media between now and until well after the budget's battles happen and the votes happen next week. We are making a real launch on that. And you know what? The truth is that, you know, we're going to take, no matter whose fault it is, we're going to take responsibility for curing the problem by talking to anyone and everyone who wants to talk about the real budgetary challenges facing the American people. Because, hey, look, you know, I mean, the reason the American middle class has had stagnant wages for so long is because of deliberate decisions made in government and deliberate decisions to just let certain things drift and not to take care of them. Budgets are a place to fix that. Our budget is a reflection of our values. We'll defend them anytime, anywhere, to anyone. And so we're looking for opportunities to do that. So look, hashtag back to work budget. You can go on the Progressive Caucus website to check out our budget. And we're going to be doing everything we can to get the word out on this budget. We're going to be whipping it hard, trying to get as many votes for it as we can, based on rationality, based on meeting the needs of the American people. Oh, and by the way, if you look at our budget based on polls about what the American people want, this is a popular budget. Our budget is what folks think we should be doing. You know, our budget protects Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, unlike the Ryan budget, which decimates Medicare. And so, you know, we're doing right by the American people. And if they know about it, they would know that we are. So thanks for that question.
Yeah, we have just about a minute left. The people point to China. You know, China's growing like crazy. They're investing a ton of money in infrastructure. They got the high-speed rail and all this stuff. How do we teach Americans about this?
Well, you know, I think if Americans knew how much China is investing in infrastructure, they would expect American government and the Congress to invest more. But not just China. I mean, look at Germany. Germany is a country that has high unionization. And has weathered the recession very well, because they have pro-labor policies to keep folks working. And they believe in infrastructure development, as China does. Our country, the richest country in the world's economic leader, can do far better, and nobody can tell me that the dreams of Americans have to be cut down or pared down. We can dream big. Better days are ahead for this country, but it's going to take an act of political will to get us there. And the Back to Work budget helps make that statement and point in the right direction.